All right, and welcome to another edition of Lift Tutoring. I know it's been a long time since I've done the podcast. I do apologize. There have been lots of different things happening over here in Mooresville, North Carolina with Lift Tutoring. We got our smart board set up. I've got my classroom set up and been going to some open houses, doing some promotional activities for Lift Tutoring, trying to get the word out more for kindergarten readiness and this intensive, rigorous pre-K program with a kindergarten curriculum. So basically, kind of wanted to start today by talking about something that everybody, at least in the Charlotte area, is going through today. We are the school year has just started, so I know there's a lot of different feelings going around. Parents are a bit anxious about I got actually a couple of texts this morning from parents. One of them was actually pretty sad that their children would be leaving. And another one was actually really worried that their children would be starting school. So two different scenarios. One, the first parent was thinking, oh my goodness, I've spent all this time with my kids this summer. I'm not really ready to let them go back. But it's actually really good that they have such a supportive parent that loves them enough to not even want them to be apart from them for a few hours. How wonderful is that? Because that means that child will be able to grow in a way some children may not be able to because they don't have that at home. In the other circumstance, we had a parent send me a message that was worried about because their child had started school late due to different circumstances. Their child started kindergarten a whole lot later than they should have. So now they're going into first grade, and the parent was really worried that, there would be, how do we put it, that the child would have regressed over the summer and may need to, and they just want the best for their child, just like all parents do. And I would say in that situation, this first month of school is going to be survival mode for a few new teachers. It's going to be a learning time for some of the administrators. There's going to be different team members of different grade levels that are working with each other for the first time, and they're going to all need to kind of click and figure out where they fit in the whole makeup of the school. Because if you've run any sort of school or been around any school for a certain amount of time, then you know that schools, even though schools have certain identities, their identities change year to year, and sometimes their identities change month to month. There is an overall goal for what schools need to accomplish, whether they be a school in elementary, middle, high school, college level, university, master's program, grad program. Everybody has standards and everybody has goals, and that they want the students to be able to meet. The thing is, though, since we live in the real world, that actually takes time to develop. So I would say, among anything else, whether you have worries about your child's new teacher, you have worries about your child's new school, you have worries about your child's new grade level, you have worries about your child's new expectations, you have worries about your child's new activities, after-school activities, extracurriculars, or your child is just getting older for another year and you're trying to figure out what happened to the days and where they went, how they went by so fast. Give this next month and a half time to grow the way it needs to. Some teachers, some parents like you out there may be ready and willing to do anything and everything from day one. some teachers don't know what they need yet because they haven't met and really got into their classes with their students yet. Give the teacher some time. I've had parents who come up to me and they're very invigorated to help me throughout that year, and they say in September, "What do you need from me, Mr. White?" And I always tell them, I don't know what I don't know. So when I figure out what I need, I'll let you know. And as the year goes on, I'm able to tell them more clearly. But that first 6 weeks, especially into October, is a lot for a lot of teachers, and it takes time to figure out exactly, okay, what am I going to be doing with this particular class? I would imagine it takes a little bit longer for some of the middle and high school teachers, as they are not able to be around all of their students all day. It may happen a little bit faster with elementary, but again, we all know that both of those are different skill sets on how to get to know your children with the different age levels. I know specifically with kindergarten, it's that first month we're just hoping everything kind of goes smoothly without any problems. I had one of my very first days of school. Actually, my first day of school, teaching my second year in kindergarten, I had this sweet little girl who will go on to be one of my favorite students. But that first day, she cried for 2 hours, just heaving, crying for 2 hours, because once she realized her mother was gone, that was it. It was over. And the next day was a little better, and then it got just exceedingly better after that. And that wasn't the only thing that had happened that first day of school. Some of the first days of schools for some of the most passionate teachers make you question exactly what it is you're doing there, but it all becomes worth it after a certain amount of time. So basically, what I would implore you to do is to just be patient. Be patient with school. Be patient with your child. Be patient with all the new scenarios. Be patient with your child's teacher. And make sure there's an open form of communication early. Don't expect necessarily your child's teacher to be able to tell you everything at every moment, at every time. Right now, and maybe not ever, because I don't know how possible that is since we're all human. But make sure that open line of communication and that trust of we're in this together this year. No matter what happens, we all have to focus on the student. The teacher's number one goal should be the student and their progress. The parents' number one goal should be the student and their progress, and the student's number one goal should be their student and their progress. So if everybody is on that same page, nothing but great things can come of that. So as you move forward into this new 2018-2019, oh my goodness, is it already 2018-2019 school year, just remember, from one educator to parents and from one educator to other educators, just be patient and know that everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Just stay the course and trust. We got to get back to trusting one another. When we move beyond, when we start not seeing people as human beings, sometimes we get lost in the fray of what's really important. And again, that's that triangle partnership: parent, teacher, student. And if we can keep that in mind, then everyone who's in the range of my voice and everyone beyond that, I'm sure is going to have a fantastic year. So I do look forward to your child's school year, whether they be in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, or beyond, whether I know them or not. I do look forward to this time, because this time is the start of where many memories are going to be made. And I do hope that this year is an excellent one for you, as I know it's going to be for me and Lift Tutoring as a whole. So If you ever have any questions on things that you'd like me to talk about in the podcast, or any of my expertise, or just my thoughts on certain subjects regarding education, or really anything that is appropriate for this channel, you can email me at info@lifttutoring.net. Leave a comment on my YouTube page, Lift Tutoring, Jeremy White, Lift Tutoring. We're getting closer to 100 subscribers, so if we can get those, when we get those subscribers, we will be able to make a youtube.com/Lift Tutoring URL, which is fantastic. I can just direct you guys to that. You don't have to search. Follow us on Twitter, at Lift Tutoring, at Lift_tutoring on Instagram, and at Lift Kinder on Facebook. Like our page. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you have a wonderful start of your school year. Happy first day of school, everybody.